Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boom and Bust channel, Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host Terry, and today talking about Darnell Wright. Yes, 2 episodes in one day for y'all. Actually, behind the scenes, I shot that other episode last night. So anyway, Darnell Wright, as I mentioned before, somebody brought him up to me, and honestly, with in terms of the Bears, as I mentioned, everything's really revolving around Caleb and getting the idea of what Ben Johnson's system is. And defensively, defense is not typically as complex as an offense. So that, obviously I'm watching, but it's a lot of the same players, so I know what they can do. The schemes, that wasn't like, it's not a lot of focus it takes to figure that out. So that's where my brain has been. I haven't really been looking, even though I know Theo, and again, I got to figure out his last name. Theo's played, and people are asking about him. They're asking about the rookie and all that. I was not paying attention to that. And as you should know by now, that when you're watching film, you got to be very intentional. So Darnell Wright, not somebody I was thinking about. So I was like, okay, if I get a chance, I'll look at it. But then I also started seeing stuff circulate online about how he's a top 5, possibly, or top 10, possibly top 5 right tackle. Well, I don't know if say right tackle. If you could do right tackle, I don't know what that really means in the grand scheme of things. But anyway, I'm just like, okay, Pro Football Focus I don't care about. But this conversation has been happening. And so, so I was like, I'll get to it. And then I just had some time today and decided to watch some film, and I'll give you my assessment. We won't be here too long. So, a number of things are happening, as they always are. It's not just one thing. I won't even say the big. I'm going to just name them with no real order of importance. One thing that's happening is the pass protection in terms of the whole scheme. Also, let me back up. For those that didn't see it in the community, I watched the non-play action pass plays that that's pretty much it. It was non-play action pass plays. That was the filter. And we are I was looking at stats, because Tuesday is when I do all my stat compilations. And since I was already over there, I was like, let me go check out some film. So anyway, we were top 5 or top 6 in play action. No, we were top 6 in number of play action plays, but we were top 5 in percentage of play action, right next to Green Bay. So as I know, watching the game, I'm like, okay, we play action a lot. And I just want to confirm that with the numbers, and that's what it was. So I don't necessarily want to see that, because play action pass protection is a different thing, obviously, than pure pass protection. So I want to look at the non-play action plays. And what else was I going to say? Yeah, so that's just what that was. Oh, I watch the Bengals, I watch the Saints, and I watch the Ravens, because I honestly, I watched the Bengals, and I'm like, these aren't even good enough pass rushers to let me know anything. Like, you got the rookie Stewart a few times, Miles Murphy, who hasn't became anything, and really that's it. Otherwise, it was a defensive tackle or linebacker. So I was just like, that's not really giving me much information. They're not really challenging him. And so I went to the Ravens game, and the Ravens, Van Noy is actually really up there, and the rest of the guys are kind of, projects. But that told me something. Then the Saints, I thought I would see Cam Jordan. I think he went out early, because I know Chase Young was on the other side. And really, since Darnell came back with Theo at the left side, everybody's been putting their best person over there trying to attack him. And I really feel like if Darnell would have played against the Raiders, against Max Crosby, I would have got all the information I needed to know. But we didn't get that matchup, so there's that. And I very much believe, as you should know, in the matchups. Like, yeah, you could have these stats and you could look good against this, but I need to see you against high level comp. So between the Ravens, the Bengals, and the Saints, I got different flavors. Still haven't seen him against any the top tier comp. And maybe he went up against Hutch. I don't know. I didn't go back that far because it's earlier in the season and we changed some things after the bye week. So that's just kind of where I kept it. So that's what I watch. Now, number one, the thing that I noticed, the protection scheme, much improved. Something that we started to do with this school, but you know, that obviously, yeah, I don't need to talk about that. But something we started to do, and some that I've seen with us, and some that I've seen in a lot of these newer offenses, is traditionally people would put the back to the edge of the line of scrimmage, you know, slide the line left, have the back insert to the right, and get whoever's on the edge. And I think that's still very effective. But what we're doing and what a lot of offense are doing is they're inserting the back in between the guard and the tackle. Now, what that allows you to do is two things. Number one, it's easier for the back to check release because you're already lined up between the guard and the tackle. So you could very clearly see, it takes you like half a second or whatever to see, is anything flashing into the B gap inside of Darnell Wright? No. Okay, let me take my path and release out to my route. That's pretty easy for them. But the second thing that is doing that is probably the biggest change again, I don't want to say the biggest, but one of the changes that's helping Darnell is that allows him to, instead of kick slide for depth, you know, you see the tackles kick slide to get back, he's kick sliding for width, and he's kicking out. And what that's doing is that makes the path to the quarterback longer, and he's a big body. So now if I'm on the edge, my assignment is, you know, I watch the hip, watch the shoulder, whatever the aiming point. Once you kick out towards me, my mind should go reach block, and I should try to stay outside of you so that I can maintain the edge, set the edge. And so when he's kicking, he's getting a little depth, but he's getting more width towards the guy, and that's making the defender get wider and making the path wider. And he can do that. The only reason you don't do that is because you give up your inside immediately. But with the running back check releasing through that gap, you got extra protection. So if he does do a quick move inside, then you got somebody there to help. And when they don't have the running back checking to his side, usually there's a tight end on his side, and that's widening the defender. Typically, whoever's on the edge, they're going to line a head up with the tight end or outside the tight end, which gives you extra time. And the tight end can chip release on his way to the route, which gives you extra time. So when we talk about attacking a team with formation and alignment and motion, that's what we're talking about. As I said before, and you know, funny enough, as much as people are always talking crap online, I saw somebody in one of the groups. It was like, I don't remember when it was, but they were like, why did we draft Colston Loveland? And people was piling on, talking crap. And then of course he's the hero of the game. But it's not just like his ability. It's not, you know, it's not that, oh, we need a tight end. What it is, which I said before, Ben Johnson likes multiple tight end sets, and that's all we've seen this year. Obviously, there's a few plays where we do other things, but even when it's not a tight set or a tight formation, We have double tight. I told you before, we got Coast and Loveland out in the slot. We got Komet in the slot. We got them both in the slot. One tight, one not, one in the backfield. So he likes 12 personnel, and I do too. And this is exactly why I love it. So because of that, depending on the matchup, most plays we're going to have a running back check release, or we're going to have a tight end chip release. And that gives help to both sides of the ball. And again, being as smart as he is, it's on different sides. So if Darnell doesn't have a tight end with him, he usually has a back check releasing as well. There's times where he doesn't, but for the most part, that's what we see, because we're trying to give Caleb extra time. Now, outside of that, with the formations or the pass protection, I would say, the plan, everybody understands it a lot more than they did before, and they try to make it easy for you. Again, trying to help you get to your strengths. Because as a power blocker, the biggest threat you got is somebody speeding past you, capturing your edge. So when you can kick out and widen the edge, it's more likely they're going to have to get in contact with you, and it turns into more of a power rush than a speed rush. And in a power rush, Wright is going to win. All right, so that's one thing. Another thing, I'm struggling to remember. I was going to talk about three things, but I can only remember the second one. The second thing, which is pretty huge, is his balance is way better. It's way better in his feet. So I don't know who to attribute this to, because this is where people say the Ben Johnson effect. Look, it could be a million things. It could be the accountability of Ben Johnson. It could be the teaching of the offensive line coach, the tackle coach. It could be the standard. It could be the expectation. It could be getting close to a contract year. I don't know. All I know is, as I've talked about before, a lot of things that I had issues with Darnell Wright that I didn't see in Tennessee, they're still there. Hand placement, little better, but still likes to get wide, still likes the bear hug. Can stop his feet on redirection stuff, but for the most part, his balance is so much better in terms of not, dipping his head over his knees or anything like that. He's able to keep his stack together, which means upper body over his lower body. And when he is leaning, I've seen him do things that I haven't seen him do before. So that is for sure one of the coaches. I don't know which one. And to be honest, it could have been him in the off season. So there's that possibility too, because this is the NFL. But I've seen, it's hard to explain without a visual, but I've seen a couple times where he was caught slipping. 2 times I saw where he was definitely leaning more into the block, and the person was pulling him down, and he raises his hands up to the side, like spreading my wings to fly. And what that's doing is that recaptures your balance. So while your shoulders dip forward and your head, your arms and everything kind of resist the wind, and you could bring it back. Again, this is very technical offensive line stuff, and I don't see many linemen do that. And then the other time I saw it where he got pulled and he leaned over shoulder head, but his feet didn't and his lower body didn't go, so he didn't fall to the ground. He regained his balance. I mean, the defender beat him, but he regained his balance. Where in other times, he was always on the ground. And again, that's just stuff I didn't see in Tennessee. So, as I talked about with Darnell, a lot of times, his technique was just sloppy. I know he has the talent because I seen it in Tennessee. I wouldn't say he's gotten more athletic. He's definitely probably went down 5% athleticism. But still, for his size, he's very athletic. So what you see on film is when he needs to get a hard kick slide, he can do that. He can get depth, and again, real good speed rusher, he's not going to beat him to the edge. But for most guys, he's going to be able to beat you to the edge. And when he's able to kick out wide, that's when power takes over, and his power has gotten better. And again, his hand placement, all that hasn't super improved. But what has improved is his balance and his feet. He continues to move his feet. He moves his feet. Like, there are some plays that I was flat out like, this is pure elite talent. Not even elite talent, an elite play. Because I've seen guys in high school that I know for sure, and that went D1 or whatever, that could be excellent, but they didn't consistently move their feet. And I rant about this all the time with offensive line. They don't move their feet. And to be honest, like, all of the bad defensive linemen or average ones, they don't move their feet either. It's the elite defenders like an Aaron Donald, all those guys that always are moving their feet towards the quarterback. But offensive linemen love to stop their feet. They love it, and I don't understand why. Sometimes, no matter how you coach a young player, they just don't get it. But obviously, in the NFL, it happens too. But for whatever, however they got it going, which again, coach thing, want to, accountability, maybe his own personal coach, I can't tell you what it is. His feet are way better. He's going through the whistle. Now, the thing is, if he wasn't playing with a guy like Caleb or Mahomes or whatever, he would be elite. He would be at the top of what you believe a right tackle should be, at least. Maybe not a left tackle. Because that initial 1, 2, 3, most of the time is stone cold. He's got it. The times that is getting in trouble is when Caleb is extending the play, running the play. He don't know where he is. And that happens to the best of them. But again, why I don't care about stats like pressure and all that stuff is because in a coach's eyes, he's won those reps. But because Caleb is extending and running around, and Wright might stop because he thinks the play is like, hey, it's 4 seconds, the ball should be gone, and the defender is able to do something, like, I'm not putting that on him. So I would say yes, for sure. In the stuff that I watch, with the caveat that I have yet to see him against like a top tier defender, but you know, especially at this point, how many are there in the league? How many are there? Like, yes, a Parsons, a Nick Bonito, like guys with extreme explosion where, especially if he's one-on-one, that would be a problem. I don't think that has changed. But I think his attitude, his, what do you call it? I'll just say his want to, because I can't think of the word, has gotten better, and his feet and balance have gotten better. And those are huge, obviously, as an offensive lineman. And that's rare. I rarely, and I don't watch every offensive lineman super intently, but I cannot recall one time I saw a lineman with terrible balance that flipped that, especially in one off season. And so, and again, I don't want to say that he had great balance in Tennessee, but for whatever reason with us, he did not play with great balance. So, you know, he keeps his leverage low, keeps his chest behind his knees. Like, and again, I think what also helps is, again, me working with players at a low level now, where I'm going over the finer points of pass rush and pass pro and all these things. And so to see like a little more clearly how some of those things have been corrected, that kind of stands out to me. So in terms of people asking like, what's the evaluation of what he's looking like right now? Excellent. And I didn't even get into the run game, which I mean, in Tennessee, I mean, it's college football, so pass pro was the name of the game, but he was a plus in the run game. But his skill set as a mauler is definitely built more for the run game. So I'm sure he's a plus, but obviously everybody only really cares and quotes pass protection, so that's what I wanted to look at. So run game, I don't know, but I feel that he's probably good. And then it helps to have Jonah Jackson too. Oh, that's what I was going to say. Like, also just some of the guys, like the interior guys with him, and again, everybody's just on the same page. I think people understand their assignments a lot more. But pass pro wise, like how he's playing, I don't want to say it's night and day, but it's a significant upgrade. So people want to run with that and say what they want about whoever, that's fine. But as I said, I don't know who to give that credit to. I'm just telling you what I see and what's changed. So that balance and that continue to mirror the defender, move your feet, try to stay in front of your defender. That's great. Like the physical stuff, I didn't talk about it that much because that's always been there. Like, he's been a grabber, he's been a bit of a mauler, and when he gets his hands on you, he's got you. If you try to straight up bull rush, he's not going nowhere. And I'm be honest. Maybe it's the number, maybe it's the Ben Johnson. Definitely not the same athlete, but at moment, in terms of the power, I felt like a little bit of a Panay Sewell. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so that's it for me. Go down in the comment section. I went way longer than I thought. Let me know what you think. Share it around, subscribe, thumbs up, subscribe, and stay up and bear down.